Welcome viewers, Dr. JWA, theologist. We're in the Senate where Sarah Henderson is questioning Anika Wells' spending, and every Australian watching this understands the issue immediately. And before I play the clips, most people know the difference between genuine public business and a social event later reframed as social necessity. Families are struggling with mortgages, groceries, fuel and electricity while being told that tightening spending is essential. So when ministers appear to justify taxpayer-funded travel through sideline conversations at birthday parties, the public does not see restraint. They see separation from reality. And the concern is not only the money spent, it is the growing belief that ordinary Australians must justify every dollar immediately, while government increasingly justifies themselves afterwards. And public offence should increase accountability, not soften it. So before I go to the Senate, I just want to put a background on this for you. This is Anika Wells being interviewed.
Let's talk about your travel first of all. Let's get straight in here and the controversy around it. You weren't too happy the other day when it came to the fact that you were quizzed over spending $34,426 on business class flights for the 3-day official trip to the UN in New York in September. Taxpayers also paid $38,165 for flights for your Deputy Chief of Staff and $22,000 for the Assistant Secretary for Online Safety. Did you see the bill, or were you advised of the bill prior to taking the flight, and were any other options considered to try to make the cost cheaper? Were you shocked then? When you found out how much it cost, did you go, goodness me, I didn't realise it cost that much?
Yeah. Well, I absolutely understand that any ordinary Australian would look in those black and white figures and have a gut reaction. I completely understand that.
Minister Anika Wells after a South Australian Labor MP refused to corroborate claims used to justify taxpayer-funded travel. Anika Wells refusing to rule out a meeting during a work trip took place at a friend's 40th birthday party.
South Australia's Defence Minister Chris Picton has hung Anika Wells out to dry, refusing to back claims made by the Communications Minister that the pair held an informal meeting during the night of his wife's 40th birthday.
It all seems very hard to believe.
Ms Wells' June 7 trip to South Australia was initially given the green light during an independent Parliamentary Expenses Authority audit into the minister's travel habits. Ms Wells saying she held a sideline meeting with Mr Picton during a function that evening after their earlier plans were delayed. Mr Picton, though, refusing to confirm that meeting took place. A spokesperson telling Sky News Minister Picton regularly engages with federal ministers on key issues.
She's tried to claim that this was official business. He has declined to corroborate her claim as to why she actually made a claim for her travel expenses on that night.
I do want to ask about there was one particular meeting the minister had of some controversy, which was a ministerial meeting she had in Adelaide when she attended a birthday party last year. Now, there's been a full IPIA investigation into that, and there's been a full audit. The minister told IPIA that she'd had a sideline meeting with a South Australian minister on the evening of the 7th of June. Have you got any details about that sideline meeting?
No, I don't. The one thing I would say is that it's often the case that ministers engage with their state and territory counterparts without the need for them to commission, for instance, briefing notes from the department. The fact that the department may not have been involved in that process or may not have provided a briefing note doesn't imply in any way that the meeting was for anything other than official business. But no.
Do you have any evidence that that meeting was an official ministerial meeting?
I think both ministers, as I understand it, have given accounts of that meeting that confirm that they were transacting ministerial business entirely appropriately.
No, that's not the case. Sorry, just to correct you, the South Australian minister has said that he met the minister because she was attending she was there attending his wife's birthday party, but he did not say that it was an official ministerial meeting, just in the public statements he's made.
Ministers can speak for themselves. My point is simply that there is no expectation that the department would necessarily be involved in supporting any such meeting. That doesn't mean that it wasn't to do with the official business or the minister's portfolios.
Yeah, so in fact it was reported by the Adelaide Advertiser that it was an informal chat. I'll cut to the chase, Mr Betts. It doesn't look above board that there was and I'm saying this, that there was an official ministerial meeting. I'm not reflecting on your department in any way. Are you able to, were there any notes or briefs or anything relating to that trip to Adelaide? Because there was a number of different events that the minister attended. She had a so-called official meeting with the Office of the Special Minister of State on that afternoon, but it doesn't look like the Special Minister of State, Mr Farrell, attended that meeting. Do you know anything about that meeting?
No, the only context I can give you is that, and this is true of all ministers, they interact with their colleagues, both within the Commonwealth Government and with state and territory colleagues without the need to involve the department, but that is the way in which a lot of official ministerial portfolio business gets routinely transacted, and this looks to be consistent with that.
Do you have any record of those meetings, any notes, messages, briefs, any follow-up, any correspondence?
Not that I'm aware of, but I wouldn't necessarily expect to have that. This is the normal transaction of business between the Commonwealth and the states and territories.
If I could ask on notice if you could provide us a copy with all relevant correspondence in relation to the Minister's trip to Adelaide that weekend. There was also another event with the member for Sturt. There was a sporting presentation at a school on the Saturday morning. Did the department have any interaction at all with the Minister in relation to that event?
I can check that, or we can deal with it under Outcome 7 for our department tomorrow. I'll see what information I can source. If that's about sport, that's obviously outside the mandate of this.
All right, so just going back, so on notice, if you could provide a copy of all correspondence, meeting notes, diary notes, any other briefings or any other correspondence in relation.
I doubt there'll be much material, but we'll take that on board.
I appreciate that. Minister, are you able to shine any light on the Minister's meetings on that weekend?
Well, you have to ask me a question, Senator. I can confirm I've just checked with the office. There was no international travel since the first of... You asked that question to the department. I'm just confirming that for you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And so is there any international travel planned by the Minister going forward?
I can't answer that question.
All right, if you could check that, I'd
Sure.
appreciate that. And what about are you able to give us any further information in relation to the meetings on that Adelaide weekend? Because, look, clearly, and I'm cutting to the chase here, it doesn't look like it passes the pub test when you have an official ministerial meeting with a minister at a birthday party of the minister's wife, and I'm just wondering if you can provide any further details, because the minister was asked about this during question time and declined to give specific details about that sideline meeting.
No, I think the minister's been very upfront with the information she's provided to IPEA. There was a comprehensive independent audit undertaken by IPEA of almost 3 years worth of travel. All of the information that the Minister provided to IPEA is available in that report, and as you know, they appeared last night in estimates. So if you've got some questions for them about their audit process, they were for last night.
No, I'm actually asking questions about the Minister's meeting, so that's why I'm addressing them to you.
There's no information beyond what was given to the through the audit process that I can give you.
Okay, the problem with the audit is that there was information that there was a meeting at an event. That's how the Minister described this. And then, of course, we find out that the event was the birthday party. So I'm wondering if, as I say, it doesn't pass the pub test, that the Minister is having an official ministerial meeting at a birthday party with the South Australian Minister when it's the South Australian Minister's wife's birthday. Wondering whether the sideline meeting was in the next to the bar or next to the pinball machine. I mean, it just seems pretty odd, and I would put to you, Minister, that I don't think Minister Wells was being fully transparent with IPEA, because it wasn't actually clear in the information she gave IPEA that it was actually a birthday party where this so-called ministerial meeting occurred. Are you able to find out any more information about the nature of that sideline meeting?
I reject that assertion that the Minister wasn't being fully transparent with the Independent Parliamentary Expenses Authority, as she's required to do. She was fully transparent with the audit process. As you have indicated on record today, that there were other events that occurred that day, and all of that information has been provided through the audit process.
No, but what I'm saying is that she didn't give full information to IPEA. She didn't say that it was actually a birthday party.
And I'm rejecting that assertion that you're making.
Well, it's not a matter of rejection, it's just a matter of fact.
Okay.
So I'm just I'm just looking to the actual report, and the report makes clear that she said she was attending an event later that evening, but she didn't say it was the birthday party. So, and I'm not directing my criticism at you, of course, Minister. I realise you're here in a representative capacity. If you could possibly seek more information in relation to where that sideline meeting was held, I would be most grateful, because it doesn't look credible. Most of the Minister's colleagues know it doesn't look credible. Most Australians doesn't know it looks credible. So, if there's anything that substantiates the fact that this was an official ministerial meeting, I'd welcome further information. But otherwise, it just, as I say, doesn't pass the pub test in my view. So if I could ask you, if you could go back to the Minister's office and ask for any further information, I'd be grateful.
Sure. I mean, as I said, Senator, there is no additional information other than what has been given to the IPA audit process, because the Minister was required to give all of the information to that audit process, and she's followed that process to the letter. It's a process that many other politicians I know from both sides of Parliament have undergone in the past, and she's taken full responsibility for the outcome of that audit.
Thanks very much, Minister. Mr Betts, has there been any opportunity to come back on any other travel-related issues?
We're still following up, Senator. We'll come back to you as soon as we can.
Do you have any details of since the last estimates, if you could provide details of meetings undertaken by departmental officials?
You've accused her of secrecy and entitlement after more questions emerged about whether a birthday party that she went to constituted official ministerial business. Now, she claims it does, because in the margins of that friend's 40th birthday party, she says she spoke to a South Australian state minister. She later then said that that was justification to stay overnight on the taxpayer, because this discussion, over the sausage rolls or beside the DJ, somehow was an official meeting. Now, she's really come unstuck here, though, because that South Australian state MP, who allegedly was a part of this birthday meeting, well, he is refusing to corroborate her story. Now, surely Sarah Henderson, she can't survive now.
She cannot survive. The Prime Minister, Peter, must stand down Anika Wells. It is clear she has not told the truth to the Independent Parliamentary Expenses Authority. She told IPIA that she had an official ministerial meeting. She then changed her tune and said it was later in the evening at an event. We know that event was a birthday party. It was the birthday party of the South Australian Minister's wife. It defies belief that she went along and suddenly on the sidelines held an official meeting. And the South Australian Defence Minister, Chris Picton, has effectively thrown her under the bus. He won't corroborate her version of events. He did say belatedly that they met, but the Adelaide Advertiser reported this as an informal chat. This does not cut the mustard. This is a rort. She's not entitled to claim to go away for a weekend to a friend's birthday party, and the Prime Minister must investigate. He has no option, Peter, but to stand down this hapless minister. Just days ago, he was defending her over 4 separate breaches of her travel entitlements. Well, this is beyond the pale. The Prime Minister must act, or he is complicit in this really sordid affair.
Yeah, I'm just looking at footage I've got running of her on the screen, Sarah Henderson. She loves a bit of Scanlon and Theodore. So do I. That's a clothing label, except I pay for mine out of my own pocket. I notice some of the clothes that she wears are close to, $1,000 for a dress, yet a hotel room in Adelaide might cost her, $300 or $400? Why can't she pay for that out of her own pocket? I mean, she earns close to $400,000 a year. Why can't she just pay her own hotel room?
Well, I just don't know. Of course, she took a business class return flight from Brisbane to Adelaide and back again on that weekend. Belatedly, the Minister's office last night was briefing out that she actually paid for her accommodation on the Saturday night. Well, to me, that implicates her. She obviously felt guilty in claiming for the accommodation, but she was very happy on the taxpayer's purse to fly back business class the next day. So it's very clear to me that she has not told the truth to IPIA. She has rorted her travel entitlements, and frankly, Australians have had enough. This Prime Minister promised accountability. He promised transparency. He promised he would act in the best interests of Australians. And if he does not act on this and stand her down, then he is absolutely implicated in this, as I say, sordid affair.
This entitlements body, Sarah, it's a crock. I mean, it's a toothless tiger, obviously.
Well, they did investigate this, and they actually asked further questions of the minister. They asked her when her parliamentary business finished on that evening, and she answered it finished at 7:45 p.m. after she'd concluded meeting with the minister. It defies belief. It doesn't stack up. She was at a boozy birthday party, Peter. She was at the birthday party of the minister's wife. They were all blowing out the candles. She's blowing up her credibility. I don't blame IPIA if she's not told IPIA the truth. But now she's been caught out because Chris Picton won't back her story in. She told Parliament today, and I will just have a quick look at this because I think very, very close to misleading Parliament. She certainly hoodwinked the Parliament when she said that I also note Minister Picton has confirmed that series of events in a series of media outlets. No, he hasn't. That's completely false. He simply said that he saw her or he met her that night. All right, thanks very much, Peter.
What this controversy shows is a minister who appears to have treated taxpayer money far too casually. Australians are entitled to ask whether the system is used or was used for genuine public duty or stretched to cover private convenience after the fact. Because when a birthday party trip is defended through a sideline political conversation, taxpayers do not see accountability. They see political entitlement. They see public money taken for granted. They see a system that ordinary Australians would never be allowed to use so loosely, or if at all. And once a minister is caught inside that appearance, standing aside becomes a serious question of public trust. Let's remember Barry O'Farrell stood down over a bottle of wine. We're talking about tens of thousands of dollars here. It's not revenge, not politics, accountability, because the taxpayer should never be forced to fund excuses dressed up as official business. I'm Dr. J.W. Ayub, theologist. Like and subscribe to help me, comment to educate me, and share the video to help somebody else.